won't have to cry no more.
I need a court of my own. All these rings like I'm ignoring my phone. My ancient aura is gold. Check. My ancient aura is gold. I've been touring and exploring the globe. It's how I hoarded this assortment of stones. My ancient aura is gold. Check. My ancient aura is gold. Gorgeous porcelain imported from Rome. I promise I look 20 as a 40-year-old. My ancient aura is gold. 444 horses is the force that I hold. And it's 44 in Porsche that I rode. Yeah, I extorted when the order is sold. Out of bounds for the border patrol. I be twisting up a joint like contortionist bone. It's really all I need to record in my zone. Practicing the darkest sorcery known. Tapping in when I be authoring poems. Bird magic mixed in with the Jordan Malone. This bag of skin, I'm in a portable home. Medallion dripping, I adorned it in gold. Got the cash to get it, you should order your own. You can't afford it at the store, get a loan. As soon as I wear it, the value's worth more than it's sold. Matching a burgundy velour in a robe. Gamble with life and I owed her, but I brought my cologne. I was born on a throne. I'm a king, I need a court of my own. All these rings like I'm ignoring my phone. My ancient aura is gold. Check. My ancient aura is gold. I've been touring and exploring the globe.
I'm gonna start off basics too. Your name's Bluepill, right?
Yes, sir.
In the Matrix, I thought the blue pill was the pill that we ain't supposed to take.
You said what now?
In the Matrix, I thought the blue pill was the pill that we ain't supposed to take.
Yes, indeed. But I watched the Matrix just like everybody else, and when it got to the end, Neo had to renegotiate his contract with the Matrix, and he had to go within the Matrix to defeat it. So I know that reality is created from the subconscious realm in a dream state. So I said, give me the blue pill, because that's where I create my reality in my dream state. I'm a lucid dreamer, you know, because I take so much liquid gold, monatomic gold, I control a lot of my realities through my dream state. And we all do. 95% of our reality is based on our subconscious programming, which is all based on the dream state. So that's why I identify with blue pill, because I'm living in my dream.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And your brother's Redpill, obviously.
Huh?
Your brother's Redpill. You're supposed to ask
Yeah.
But how do you and him both being a different pills? It seems like it's supposed to be one against the other. How do you work together as a unit?
Yeah, it appears like that, you know what I'm saying? But the real understanding of it, the way that we feel, Neo should have took both pills.
Yeah.
You understand? So we represent that combination, that spectrum, the red and the blue. It's more so dealing with light spectrums than it is dealing with the Matrix. You dig what I'm saying?
And what you doing over here in London, UK?
Oh, we definitely, you know, had to come over here and touch the people, feel the love of the family. I've been hearing for forever and a day how much the people out here got love for the pills, and I've always wanted to come out here and just tap in myself. So all of the stars aligned, the time was right, and we here.
What do you feel about, recently I've been hearing a lot of talk about pseudoscience, pseudo scholars. What do you feel about that whole recent?
There, you know, especially in this dynamic of what we call consciousness, there's always going to be a schism, because you have people that deal with metaphysics, then you have the literalists, you know, people that just deal with history, things that can be proven in books and things of that nature, right? And they don't have any training and understanding when it comes to metaphysics or the occult. So all of that is expected, you know what I mean? All of that is expected. Our science will never be 100% accepted in our community or outside of our community. You understand what I'm saying? But the proof is in the pudding, so there's really no need to go back and forth with people who only, their only claim to fame is that they point fingers and they are masters of conjecture. So,
So do you feel like everybody who makes such accusations against man is there's no way of truth to it or sincerity coming from them inquiring?
No, I feel that their inquiries are very truthful because they are doubtful. And I think they have a right to be doubtful. If there are people that's based on literalism, right? They can only say, I don't have source references. I didn't read that in the book. I didn't see it myself, right? A lot of what we've experienced is part of our personal journey. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what we experience is based on the fact that we were willing to take a particular step, and then things start revealing themselves to you. So somebody on the sideline is never going to experience what somebody that's on the court is experiencing. You understand? So there's always going to be a divide. There's always going to be a schism. There's always going to be a lack of understanding if somebody's not willing to take that extra step.
So, what are you saying? But you want to jump in the thing? So, how do you communicate your message to the masses in general then?
I just speak from my heart. You know what I'm saying? I speak from my heart. And I was very reluctant at certain points in my life to share things with people because I know the majority of people that I'm speaking to have never had any of these experiences. So it would take a lot of faith. It would take a lot of, a person trusting what I'm saying to believe what I'm saying or to get in what I'm saying or to vibrate with it enough to say, you know what? I'm willing to take that leap. I'm willing to take that step for myself. So, yeah, but when you speak and you open yourself up and speak directly from your heart, you know what I'm saying? And people are able to see the sincerity in what you're saying. And then at some point in their life when they're ready and they start taking steps outside of that, that small demarcation line that says do not cross, that's that box that they got us in. When people are ready to step outside of that and have real life experiences themselves, you know what I'm saying? Because we live in a society or we belong to a community that tells you all of this fantastical stuff about yourself, right? You come from this, you capable of doing that. But we are the ones that are out here demonstrating those very things. You know what I'm saying? And we got receipts. So when people are ready to actually experience the phenomena of what the other people are just discussing about or fantasizing about or philosophizing about or telling you what some white man and wrote in the book about your ancestors, when people are no longer scared of the greatness of themselves, then they can look to us eye to eye and be like, you was right all along. You feel me? And a lot of that happens. So you just got to take your time with people.
Cool. So what are you doing for the rest of the time that you're here in the UK?
Huh?
What are you doing for the rest of the time that you're here in the UK?
The rest of the time that I'm here is going to be based on me enlightening myself on the geopolitics of this particular region, the socio-political, economical situation of our people. I want to fully absorb my environment. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what's going on, why it's going on, and what can possibly be done to improve the conditions of our quote-unquote people that exist right here in this diaspora. You know what I mean? And I'm also, it's just a learning lesson. I'm in school right now because I've been here for one day and I know so much more about New York just by being exposed to what I'm seeing. I know so much more about the environment that I come from just based on one day of me just observing and listening. So I'm gonna be researching, I'm gonna be going to the museums, I'm gonna be talking to the people, I'm gonna be touching the people, I'm gonna be going to the hood, I'm gonna be doing the things that come natural that we do everywhere that we go.
I respect, man. Anything else you wanna add in general?
Yeah, I wanna give a shout out to Black Ice TV, give a shout out to the entire UK Massive, Peace, Love, and Light. It's been nothing but love since we've been out here, and I look forward to not only receiving more love, but giving more love. This has opened up my heart and it's opened up my eyes, that there's an entire world out there that embraces consciousness, is eager to learn, and is ready and willing to get this shit popping. Peace, love, and light.
Respect. Respect. Yeah. Yeah, we're rolling still. We're here.
All right.
Keys in the building.
Yes, sir, man. It's a blessing to be here.
So we saying that the people that don't know who you are, what you do and what you're about.
Man, I'm 19 Keys from Oakland, California. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a designer. I'm a world changer. I'm an activist. I'm a revolutionary. I'm a polymath paradigm shifter, man. And I just come to change the world. You know what I mean?
So what brings you to London, UK?
Man, I came out here to raise the consciousness of the people and make connections. All across the diaspora, you got black people that disconnected. So creating that connection, for one, I want to learn and I want to teach all at the same time.
When you think about tonight's event, the Black Eye store, opening online and all of that?
Man, it's a blessing to see black people come together anytime, especially when it's talking about engaging in economics, right? Because economics is that first floor to build anything to have a nation. In order to have your right media, in order to have your politics, in order to have your education, in order to have security within any nation, you gotta have an economic structure. So doing barter and trade and business with each other is what allows us to establish that.
So how do you feel, obviously, well, you don't know, fam. Don't know, fam. Respect, though. Don't know. So you come from like a Nation of Islam background, right?
Yes, sir.
And they have like economic programs back in the States.
Yes, sir.
So do you feel like that's the best model to adopt, like for black people in general?
Absolutely. You're talking about group economics. So, you know, the blueprint that was left behind, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, basically shows you at that time how to take just a nickel, right, and utilize that to establish group economics. Everybody put in a little bit. In different areas in the Caribbean, it's Susu, right? And the Chinese have an establishment as well. I was walking down, I was over there by Piccadilly, and they showed me that Soho was like the gay part of London. And that had me thinking, because then you got Chinatown on the other side. And I said, how the hell did gays get their own town before black people did? And when you think about that, it's because of economics. It's because they come together and they have an agenda, and they take the list of items on that agenda and they work towards getting it all done. Without money, you can't go to war. And there's a mental war for our people. So the establishment of group economics looking like everybody working together. In America, the dollar only circulates 8 hours in our community before it leaves. I don't know how much longer the dollar circulates out here, but I'm sure it's not long enough. But there's black businesses out here. There's more you all can do, the same way more we can do. It just establishes communication and organization. And the first thing we got to do is get money with each other.
What do you feel are the common issues that you come across in terms of black people coming together economically?
I think a lack of awareness on how that's going to actually affect us and the change that it actually has. A person that's never been in a great economic position don't truly understand it. You only think short-sighted or your own survival. And it's not until you have a majority mindset to where you understand how empowering each other empowers the whole collective organism. But we can attach ourselves to understanding the importance of seeing the lens of connection through Egyptian ancestry, but we can't importancize the information of seeing each other as brother and sister. So the more you got, the more I got. The higher you go, the more you can pick me up. But when we put ourselves in these positions, now we can create family businesses. I can hire you. So instead of there being a royal bloodline with the queen running this shit for the last 100 years, there can be black families with that establishment of building intergenerational wealth so we can have power and rulership. Because there's no point of having freedom without power, because you're left up to the authority of the one who does.
And do you feel like black people can organize without religion?
I think religion establishes man laws and order that's supposed to keep them in line with their spiritual connection. The problem is oftentimes you have a lot of spiritual rituals that don't really have any effect. But there's some people who are so involved in the material world, all they want to do is accumulate more. There has to be a balance. So man, of course, the white man has been able to do it with religion and still conquer the world. So we got to stop effectively using religion as our excuse. Now, I would say one of the worst detrimental things for black people is the fact that they still view the white man or white Jesus as God. So in getting rid of this Christianized behavior, right, to where you want somebody else to be your master, then yes. But even in Africa, there was always religion of some form. There was always a study of worshiping deities, right, and rituals. So we have to get out this mindset that the religion is the reason that we're not winning, because it's our laziness and our lack of productiveness and our lack of studying and interpreting religion and spirituality and God consciousness for ourselves.
Yeah. So you're talking about the necessity of religions for black people.
Yes, sir.
All right, so there's so many different religions. So how do we know which one is the right religion?
I believe the best religion to follow is truth, right? If you actively seek truth, then you will find it. One of the biggest issues with religion is that you end up following man and not the religion itself.
Yeah, because that's an issue that I see amongst a lot of religious people. They develop like a dogmatic mentality where it becomes whoever's the person in authority, and that's where I'm getting my ideas from, rather than learning how to think critically. So,
and that's dangerous because if that person becomes corrupt, then it becomes his religion, and Islam is called Islam. When a person teaches his form of a thing to get you to follow them for his own intent and his reasons. So if that person becomes corrupt and you follow them, then by a benefactor that you become corrupt as well. So that's why I tell people to follow the truth, find the root, find the source, find the purpose and the reason of what is religion made for. If there's a people that's uncivilized, right? So you can go to Islam and you look at Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Prophet Muhammad didn't create Islam. He was given the interpretation of a way of life based on the original people on the planet Earth. And he took that study from the brother Angel Jibril that taught him that. And he said, teach that to your people because they uncivilized. They don't know how to treat their women. They don't know how to eat. They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to drink. They don't know how to think. So Islam was based off a way of life, which is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we don't have a religion. We utilize Islam as a religion for the people. Because if you a savage, then that means that I need to teach you a way to where you can be civilized. So I got to give you rules, laws, and legislation that you need to follow. But also, if the environment is corrupt and it's not based on our nature, then I have to give you rules in order for you to be able to follow it so you can get back in tune with your spiritual laws and spiritual nature. So religion was given to black people so they can be tapped back in, because none of our environment is based off any spiritualism at all. So how would they be able to live like it if they don't have a way of life, if they don't have a religion that teaches them to be in proper order of thinking?
So for me, critical thinking is a major important thing that I believe everybody should look into.
Yes, sir.
And should be stressed.
Yes, sir.
So would you say that your religion, Islam, encourages critical thinking explicitly?
Absolutely. I was always taught to question everything. You know what I'm talking about? Like my parents never told me something that I couldn't ask about. So when you think about the church oftentimes tell you don't question God. No, if God got the answers, why I can't ask him the questions? Because if I can't answer, that means he don't know. So we was always encouraged critical thinking because we were taught that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam, right? And God moves with a very logical and rational mindset, meaning that everything in reality has a purpose and has a reason. That's a very rational thinking process for everything to be mathematical. So for you to be the deepest critical thinkers are mathematical thinkers, those who are able to spend time alone and go deeper in the process of thought. So Islam encourages critical thinking because it tells you to analyze the environment, analyze the world, analyze yourself. The very encouragement is self-knowledge. That is the most critical thinking that you can get to, because everything else in the world encourages crowd mind thinking.
Can you direct me to the sources where is it explicitly stated to analyze your environment? And you interpret it.
Well, if you go to Message to the Black Man, when it teaches you about knowledge of self itself, the most reoccurring thing in almost any religion is energy and consciousness. But in A Message to the Black Man and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through his teachings directly, he teaches you how, for one, how to eat to live, right? So he was the first person to teach black people proper ways of eating and everything. So just engaging in your environment, right? Looking at the things that you intake, looking at the school system, looking at the Constitution, looking at the laws, looking at every single piece of our environment, taking a step back and seeing the devil in the details. And so even he taught you to change your name, right? So it was almost an unmasking of everything to look at yourself from a critical aspect and say, who the hell designed you? You're not designed by your ancestors. So who did design you? So the most critical thinker of our time was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Cool, man. Anything else you want to add in?
Nah, man, I just appreciate the people for tapping in internationally. I think one of the biggest issues that I find out here is that a lot of people always say, Keys, man, I'm tapped into you. I'm getting into my higher consciousness, but it's not enough people around me. But I'm like, wait a minute, 30 people told me that today, then those are 30 people that need to link up. There's a lack of communication. There's a lack of organization. There's a lack of ability to dream of upward mobility within society. In America, we talk about the American dream. So we believe that anything we visualize, we can become, that we can enter new levels of classism. Out here, it's not a democracy, so the people don't dream as much. That's the dangerous thing. You have to remember that internationally, we are a majority of the people on the planet Earth. And that's all through across the diaspora. But when we're divided by ideologies, by religion, by language, by being landlocked in different geolocations, then we find ourselves stuck because we can't utilize the intellect of our brother who's been studying the enemy all this time. We can't utilize his business acumen. We can't utilize the intelligence of each other in order to rise up out of our conditions. So the goal is always become an example of the things that you want to see. And that's what I actively work on. If I'm going to preach unity, then I'm going to have unity with my brother, right? If I'm going to teach business leadership, then I'm going to have a business where I employ my brothers and my sisters. If I'm going to teach health, then I'm going to have a product to where people can intake and it help them mineralize their body and electrify their mind. Become an example of all the things that you want to see and delete all of your excuses.
I was getting a couple of dollars. He says, London's expensive. I think you need to shave some more. I'm saying no money. You all right? What passport you got? I said, I see my passport. Don't worry, I know one more. I see my passport in there. Stressful, you know? It's gonna be worth it though.
Doors open.
Now that we safely got Nana Yao and Infandishi, we're just going to make our way over to Brixton to the Habisha restaurant to go meet with Queen Dayambi, Redpill and Bluepill.
It is Shepherd's Bush. I knew this bit.
Where is it?
Shepherd's Bush.
Now turn right.
Oh my God, you guys, I need to see that.
Your brother.
They arrived. You know what's up?
Talking about.
I love it so much.
No one, everything I got, you know.
This thing, for my t-shirt. No man, he ripped me off. He gave me some cheap tea. And then, no, how can I be buying something off my own brother? My brother's gonna say, you know what, hand-me-downs. He's going, no. It's supposed to be hand-me-downs, isn't it?
He's a big old man, old enough to be my dad. And then about little.
If I'm old.
How was today, Terry?
Today was fantastic. It was a beautiful day. Andrew made it at the last minute, as I always believe in my brother.
Yes.
He always does it. So it's all about going to Birmingham for Black History Activity.
10 to 1 a.m. We just came back from the Habisha. Now we're going to get Nova from Gatwick South Terminal, which took us an hour and a bit to come from Habisha. So I'm a foot 13 as well. I don't know. which one I'm gonna come out of. But yeah, that's really comfortable. And I'm tired. I really hate that next week. I gotta drive back to Brum, a 3-hour drive. Ready? I should have came in here. We need to do a wee-wee. We need to do a pee-pee. Yeah, I'm here. I'm down by the past the coach. I'll see you. The last man.
It's who?
Asamegan. Advisor in 4 suitcases. Lasty. Yo!
Peace, UK. What's good?
Yo!
It's me for
That's
real.
you. That is you,
Look at here, bro.
Look at all this greatness.
Ancestors is hard body. Norwegian airline, but no Norwegian work ticket.
Okay.
Everybody was Italian or Spanish. The pilots, the flight attendants. It was weird. It was very strange. How they?
Yo, them like away. They were drunk or to a high.
It's a 40-year-old. My ancient aura is cold. The scrolls unfolding, words made of gold foretold of the hidden messiahs. Shit, it was written in fire that we sitting much higher. Sitting on some Michelin tires, dripping in Egyptian attire. Dapper Dan stitching them wires, Salomon hitting Delilah. Bitches kissing on these pictures on flyers. These witches for hire, these kitchens on fire. We paid in full, yeah, pitching the buyers. We chasing down Mitch's desires. Them snitches on wires, they hitting up the picture Mariah. As far as them stars stretch, that's further than far-fetched. And as for my car test, I'm taking Elliot Wilson on a star quest. I was born on a throne. I'm a king, I need a court of my own. All these rings like I'm ignoring my phone. My ancient aura is cold. My ancient aura is
Resin got that sauce in